Hello and welcome, my name is Ahiro and this is my Let's Play series of Europa Universalis IV with the new Mare Nostrum expansion where we are playing as the Ottomans. In the last episode we were at war down here with a couple of countries that had some of our cores and we don't like them to have our cores, so we took them. Yes, we did. And I think we are just about done to doing all the really easy wars. We still have Kanda left, and we are building up some spy power with AQ here, Ak Kuyunlu, so we can take back our core and maybe take a couple cores here as well. I'm actually thinking they have Syria here, so 10 points might be enough to grab this, and then we'll release Syria from this. But I'll speak to you to why we're doing that when we do it. But suffice to say, that'll be the plan now. But what I was thinking was that maybe it's time that we expand our army a little bit. So we start with these troops, 24,000 troops, 7 cavalry and 17 infantry. So what's the difference, you might ask? Well, of course there's a thematical difference, but also in game terms there's a difference, because cavalry have different stats, and we can go check them out. Our infantry has pips, we call these dots. They have 1 pip in shock, offensive shock. Offensive shock helps you deal damage. Defensive points helps you defend against damage. So the more pips you have in defensive, the less damage you take. The more pips you have in offensive, the more damage you do. So we have 1 pip in shock damage, 1 pip in moral damage, and 1 pip in moral defense. So that's our infantry. But if we look at our cavalry, they have 2 dots in offensive shock and 1 dot in defensive shock. So they're way better. Like double the damage and infinitely more defense from 0 to 1. So why wouldn't we put all of our guys into cavalry? Well, first of all, cavalry are way more expensive. 2.5 times more expensive. And on top of this, there's something called combined arms. And combined arms mean that we need a certain percentage of our armies to be infantry. In our case, because we are of the Ottoman tech group, we need at least 50% of our army to be infantry. It's not enough that we have cannons and infantry and cavalry are only 50%. It actually has to be infantry versus cavalry. And furthermore, we need to take into account that when you're in a battle, the first people to die and the people to die most is infantry. So it's not enough to have a 50-50 army, because then as soon as you go into a battle, you lose infantry, then you are below 50% and you gain the penalty. So you actually need even less cavalry than that. I think a good number for Western or a Muslim tech is probably to have about 6 cavalry in an army. That has also to do with the way that cavalry and infantry works, where when they are fielded, infantry are fielded in the middle and cavalry are filed out on the flanks. And if you have more than 3 out on the flanks, then they begin being less effective as flankers. And I don't know, in my experience, it's just a good number. If you get more cavalry than that, then you have troubles with getting, like, when you put people in a province to siege, then the rest of the army becomes unusable because the cavalry gets above 50% and stuff like that. So I usually go for an army with about 12 infantry, 6 cavalry, and about 10 artillery late game. So we might as well start building towards that. With that in mind, I want to split this into 2 armies and fill them both up. And I want to go for 6 cavalry and 10 infantry to start with. Actually, I probably want to go for 4 cavalry and 10 infantry to start with, and then we can add the cavalry and the infantry later. So let's build a cavalry for that army, and then some infantry. And that should be enough to fill both of those armies. Then maybe we could actually go Let's just build some the extra 2 cavalry and the extra 4 infantry right away. And then we can add them. And let's just do the core down here. Fabricate a claim, or not the core, the claim on Diyarbakir. And we might as well have the diplomats stay there. In case we can get the last claim, we might as well just get it and keep it. Because it also means that we can take the province cheaper, so we can save some diplomatic points. And we're waiting for our guys anyway. And we have the plague. Epidemics in the early modern era were far deadlier than wars or even famine. Were far deadlier. I can't read. Diseases that with modern medicine are relatively harmless, like smallpox or flu, took a heavy toll whenever they struck, especially among infants. Of course, especially the plague. Nowadays you can treat plague with simple penicillin. But back then, of course, it killed, like the Black Plague killed close to 50% of Poland, for example. Anyway, we either pay our way out of it, or we got some local autonomy and less goods produced, so we have plenty of money right now, let's just pay. And we just took a sea province, so we can probably get some more ships, yes. Let's just get some more trading ships, so we can earn even more money. More, that's what I want. And I think I want to create another general for that army, just so we have one in each. So we'll have to pay the 50 points this time, actually. That's a bad general. Like, maneuver isn't bad, but I would rather have shock. Fire isn't really worth anything yet. Fire becomes better as the game progresses, once, well, obviously once muskets become a thing. So, 14, 11, let's get 1 infantry more to this army. Did I forget to build 1 cavalry or something? 5, 4, 5. Yeah, I think I forgot some cavalry. Let's just build that. I think we can go to war and then build it. So let's send the 2 armies over there. Get ready to declare this war. We should probably hurry up because they're already in a war with Trebizond. Oh, they'll probably win this. Trebizond is also in war, but let's just make sure. Declare war. Oh wait. Do we want to wait? How much do we create here a month? We do. So we can wait 2 months and we'll get the claim, and then we can take the province cheaper. So let's just see. I probably won't get a new alliance within that time. So how is our income looking? We're now gaining 9 ducats, so maybe we can afford. This was the guy we got, like, when we, in the last episode, we played around with the estates, and I hired a minister from both the merchant and the ulema, and this was one of the guys we got, and he's a +3 guy, but he only costs the same as a +2 guy, because he got him through the merchants. So I'm actually gonna hire him. I think we can afford that, and I really want a lot of admin points to start with, because they're important for getting ideas, or the ideas I want, which we'll be talking about later, and they're also pretty important for coring provinces. So we want to go to Warlord, and we do. They are important. Can we afford? I don't want to pay for a military plus guy, so let's just do it like this. And we're still earning a bit of money. Should probably get that last guy to work. Let's fabricate one of these claims. Maybe send a guy to Serbia and start building some spy network there as well. Still no. So we need 42 ships. So we're already building up to 37, but still 42 is a bit too much. Land theft. Many land donations are quite old, and while they are always written down, both landscape and names may well have changed since the donation was originally written. Recently, the Ulema have been accused several members of the base of outright land theft in the form of encroaching on lands donated to Ulema long ago. The base, on the other hand, argues that it is the Ulema who are trying to seize land areas that they do not own. Well, we decide to side with, we become the majority landholder in the area. So we can obviously side with one of both, or we can side with neither, and they'll both lose loyalty. So who has the highest loyalty? It's the base. So they are the ones who can most easily part with some land and still have high loyalty. But do we want manpower or tax? I think I'm gonna side with the base because I would rather have manpower than tax. Means we need to take one of actually it's stupid, but we need to take one of the base provinces and give it to the Ulema instead. They will lose some loyalty, taking them down to 57.6, and take their influence down, so they don't longer. I might as well show this because now we can show it. Let a little bit of time pass because they actually don't have too much, so we just need to find a province for the Ulema. Never mind then. Let's give them a province. Let's give them one of these new ones. Let's just give them Konya and Kassel apparently. So now they're happy again, and they don't give any modifiers. Oh, so we are giving a lot of land away to the estates. I keep forgetting where that was. Yeah, that's a lot of land we've given away. So, we can now call this guy back. Stop building. Fabricate that claim, and once he's home we can declare the war. And we will declare the conquest. We get 75 aggressive expansion, 100% prestige, and 100% cost for conquering. Here we get 25 aggressive expansion for conquering. I think we'll just do this. We'll do the conquest. I think that's best for us. So we'll get this general to go here, and the general with siege will let go to the fort. And do we need to have all of them here? Nope. He can actually leave most. Let's just set them down here and siege that province down. And we just leave a small siege party there. Do the same here as well. And we just squish his army. So that's that war. And we can now get some tech. Let's get some administrative tech, some diplomatic tech, some military tech. And that means that we can now build some more buildings, as well as got some better military tech that helps out in the wars a lot. But we can now start building mosques, which will give us extra tax. So, first of all, I want to check out if there's any of these marketplaces that would make sense, because that would help out with trade a lot. And I can see, even though it's a bit hard, that the one in Constantinople gives 13.4 trade power. So let's definitely build that. Trade power, as I explained earlier, helps with pushing trade or collecting it. Also, over here we have one that gives one much higher than the rest, and then we'll build some temples. So 0.20, really good. And that was our money. Let's get you down here. And let's build those two last cavalry. Oh, we don't. We of course just used our money. I just did it. I should be able to remember that. Some people just creating claims. So rude. And Brittany just joined the trade league, which must mean that they are now size 1. Because only size 1 people can join trade leagues. So let's go check that out. Yeah, Provence actually took a couple provinces from Brittany. That's interesting. France haven't gone to war with England or Provence. They've been in a war with Navarra. Maybe because they were in alliance or something, I don't know. You also get a truce if you break an alliance, so that might be the case. Ooh, and we got that siege finished, so let's just grab all of these provinces, grab some money. As you can see, we're gonna pay 21 points. That's for taking our core back, because that's not the... once you declare the war, you choose which kind of casus belli to use, and that casus belli gives certain advantages. In this case, because we chose the conquer one, we get all claims for free, but even though that's Erchisan is already a core of Ottomans, it's not a claim, so we don't apply that to this. We also get a bit of aggressive expansion, and we'll have to core some stuff, so we get some overextension, but this is fine. Set these guys to probably just have them here where there's some chance of rebellion. Let's just start the cores. Add this to as a state. And how are we looking with states now? Already up to 14 states. Oh, and these are 3 different areas, so they will be made into 3 different states. So, oh, we actually don't want to make a core here. What we want to do is to release them. And the reason I want to release them is if you have a vassal, that is a country that's technically free, but under your rule anyway, then you can feed them provinces, and they will have to pay the cost to core them, and you can then later on integrate them into your country, costing diplomatic points instead of administrative points. So whenever you can find cores on land like this with a country that doesn't exist anymore, you can then release them in their own country. The only thing you need to worry about is that you will release all cores they have. So I can, for example, release AQ, because that would release the 3 provinces I just took, so that wouldn't make sense. But because I only have 1 Syrian core, I can release Syria, and I can then, first of all, I can give them all of their own cores really cheaply in the wars. But second of all, I can feed them any cores that match their culture and religion, and maybe even other cores as well if they desire them. So we will release Syria as a vassal, and they will be Sunni. So this is now our vassal, and they are Sunni, and of course they are our ally because they are our vassal. And let's do a royal marriage with them to make them even more like us even more, and let's do some improved relations with them. Improved relations. Good. Still no good. So now we can try to incorporate them into our country, but we just released them, so we probably don't want to be doing that either. So, how are we looking? We could attack Georgia. But they are a vassal of QQ here, so we would have to attack QQ, which I don't want to do right now. How are we looking? We can actually get the 2 cores on Malaysia, or claims on Malaysia now. Let's do that. And they are not even guaranteed anymore, so let's send our guys over there and go to war. But that will have to be in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, consider hitting the like button and subscribing. Hope to see you in the next episode, and until then, have a good day.